Hello, and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay, to our Monday 2 p.m. slot game, Inquisitor. Welcome if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget you can come and check us out live. We play using the Mutants and Masterminds, that's what it's called, Mutants and Masterminds system in the 40k Warhammer universe. We are DM'd by the wonderful Bastian. And before we get into introductions and last time on Inquisitor, why don't I hit you with that sponsor information? So, we use Fantasy Grounds as our virtual tabletop of choice. All the virtual maps, roles, and good stuff that you see is from that. And you can get it for free on fantasygrounds.com. What's more, we work with Wayland Games. So if you want some miniatures, if you want some little goblins riding spiders, if you want some big old Sisters of Battle, go and check out Wayland Games for that and more for up to 20% off regular retail price. And if you're in the UK, so are they, and so it's a really good shipping deal. And check out our new sponsor, Dice Envy, who have an amazing subscription service where you can get cool dice delivered to you every month, starting for just $5. And the dice are limited run, so you can get something really cool and unique, which is always fun when you whip them out and give those a roll. You can support the... You'll take it? You can support the show, of course, by retweeting, using the tweet over in chat. Hit that button. Every 10... Is it 10 retweets? No, 20 retweets. Something magical happens. I can't remember what, but something magical happens.
Don't we give away a set of dice?
Is that what we do? I think
Yeah,
so.
I think
See, I told you, magic happens.
Mm.
And that is the same for every 5 subscriptions. You can also, if you enjoy a moment, hit that clip button. Save it for us. Let us go back and relive it. We're going to be making some highlight reels for Twitter, and there are some very cool things going on, and I can't wait to watch those. Finally, you can interact by donating. You can give the players nat 1s, nat 20, wild magic surges, and I think we're still continuing that table of pets. I'm not sure you want to give us pets, but at the same time, maybe you do. Maybe Matilda does need a pet. Maybe this is what she's missing. Maybe this will just...
Yeah, I was going to say, aren't we Matilda's pets?
No, you're Matilda's tools.
Oh, yeah.
Pets would suggest that you were loving and, you know, gave her something back.
Cared for.
You've never had cats then.
Look, cats are loving and adorable. Just no hate on the cats. Alright, so without further ado, why don't we go around, introduce ourselves, and hop into the game. Jason! Who are you?
I'm Jason. Just Jason, please, on Twitter, and going to be playing Vasily Teltos, as always, finally with the correct name. I think the correct name was there last week as well, but looking forward to it, and especially now that some explosions have happened, I hope to be very useful with with my liberal application of both fire and chainsword. So.
Speaking of fire, chainswords, hell and brimstone, cleric. Who are you playing?
I am playing Zefenia Grigori, the Sister of Battle in her power armor, who is ready to behead heretics. And it's been a day or two, and she's looking for some heretics.
That's good. We are told they're here. We just have to find them.
Yes. We will find them.
Taking care of our paperwork. Pope.
Yes, hi, I'm Pope World Build. You can find me on Twitter there, World Build on the Twitch. I will be playing our adept, our paper pusher, Kifkin Severus Dracon, who right now, as we see a giant explosion, is in a little bit of a panic.
Aww. More or less of a panic than the acid vat incident.
About equal.
And Bastian,
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to about Mondays?
Well, Mondays. Well, because of my work, I don't really work on Monday and Tuesday. So, yeah. My weekend is good.
It's your weekend.
That's what happens when you work in event and engineering. So enjoyed last week. Looking forward to this week, where we get to uncover some secrets or die. Either way is fine. And I think we start with a recap. And before Jason came in, we kind of decided Jason wanted to do it. If we want to.
I like our tagline should be "Secrets or Die." That should be the tagline for our show.
Yeah.
Secrets or die. Yeah, it's a pretty good tagline. It's at least a good title for an episode. Maybe 2. But yeah, no, in terms of the recap, Vasily had a wonderful time being dragged to jail by Zephania, who then thoroughly conducted a investigation into the local Arbites or Arbites squads to root out potentially any sort of lapses in devotion to the Emperor. Simultaneously, if I'm not mistaken, both Matilda and Kifkin were given a tour of one of the local lasgun battery acid facilities, during which time Kifkin revealed potentially heretical accoutrement to a individual who subsequently threw themselves off the safety railings and into a vat where they were dissolved. Yes, I do think that was it.
Rest in peace, Inspector Joseph. Was that his name?
Joseph.
Soup.
Heretics.
Probably a delicious vat of heretic soup. But after such time, they were escorted from the premises or left under some sort of circumstances, at which point Vasily, my character, was promptly beaten into not subconsciousness, unconsciousness, currently recovering God knows where, Emperor knows where, excuse me, until such time as the timelines converged and 2 explosions rocketed forth, one from the facility and another from the headquarters of a union, which Vasily in particular and the group more generally suspects of harboring and or supplicating those of a heretical persuasion. So, yeah, it's going to be fun times figuring out where we need to point the flamer.
And the acid rain is now falling.
Oh, right, I forgot. Because this planet is a hellscape, there's acid rain as well.
Well, just
Matilda was meant to be having a date with Donnie, but, Zephania called everyone into work for an inspection, and then things blew up, so will Matilda ever get her date? Who knows?
I actually forgot about that one.
You do not want Zephania as your wingman.
Yeah,
Maybe you do.
Sounds very safe to me.
Supremely safe. Enjoyable? Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah, so this week, we start pretty much where we ended. If I recall correctly, we have Jason stuck in prison, unconscious. He will wake up first in a moment. We have the Inquisitor, Inquisitor in disguise, and our rogue trader. What did you call him again?
The persona is Antonius Daniker.
Antonius. They are at the Grand Cathedral of the church at their gun cutter, as they just landed. And we have Zephania, who is in the Arbites headquarters, who just looked at some lieutenants and saw the explosion. You were on your way back, actually, I believe, to the gun cutter, correct?
Yes, she was. Yeah. She was on her way to the cutter to get to the explosion. Yeah.
So on the way, let's. Where is my? There is my. On the way there, you hear a explosion in the distance. I've got sound effects, which is always good. You hear an explosion in the distance and some smaller ones at the same location, and you identify the location instantly as where the Union headquarters is located, and after explosions, there is some sirens going off in the cathedral and on the streets as well. And the only thing you see rushing at the moment is there's a fire brigade pulling out onto the streets, and the rest of the city falls silent.
Okay, this is fine. This is perfectly fine. Where are the Arbites? There's supposed to be so many of them. Why aren't they crawling all over the street? What?
That's what Savannah's thinking. Is she's just still on the Arbite compound, and she's kind of waiting, looking to see what kind of response is happening as she's stalking towards the gate.
Locally, both on the Arbite's compound as well as on the cathedral, they are closing the gates. There's if there's any workers inside there, they are hushed outside before they lock up. And the same goes at the church. The compound basically does a sweep of those that do not work there, and they will allow the rogue trader to stay here if he wants to. As Savannah, you were just on your way out, so you can decide: do you want to go in to the compounds or onto the streets?
Savannah is actually going to grab the highest-ranking Arbite she can find and get me a squad, get me a vehicle now.
As you do that, basically you see a sort of SWAT team on the way out. They're gearing up as they rush to armored vehicle, and you can you can grab the sergeant and join them.
Yep.
There's two APCs pulling out, and they head towards the compound. It's probably a couple of minutes there.
On my direct comm to the Inquisitor, I'll just say responding so that she knows where I'm going.
All right. Keep me advised.
Yes, Madam Inquisitor.
And Matilda is looking at Kipkin, trying to work out what they should do. It seems very unlikely their personas would run headlong towards the explosion. Simultaneously, where disasters are, heresy is usually adjacent.
Okay. I'm guessing we need to go towards the blaze. Right. Well, is there anything back in the cutter you need to retrieve? I've got all these weapons on me.
We could take the cutter itself. It is risky in the rain, but...
Yeah, it's quite risky. I don't feel like crashing today. Otherwise, we're going to have to... Well, I can. And he starts heading off in the direction of the cathedral towards the nearest vehicle. And he's just going to steal it.
There's a couple of service vehicles here.
Yeah. Doing the rite of unlocking. Because, well, it's written about.
Yeah.
Use the rite of unlocking, unlock the door, rite of ignition, turn on the vehicle, drop on in.
Alright. Then, first we'll cut to Jason. And let me turn off the alarm. There's actually no alarm going off inside the prison. And you wake up in what looks like is an infirmary. And there's several beds around you. And in the bed next to you is the fellow you recognize from last week, with his eye covered in bandages.
I forgot I stabbed out his eye. That's good. Vasily will just take stock of the surroundings.
Yeah, the door. There's one door out. There's 6 beds, 4 of which are empty. There's a. You've got a tube sticking into your arm, feeding you probably water. And other than that, there's not much in here.
Tear that crap out of my arm and just walk it off.
The door is locked. And
Are there...
also, as soon as you try to stand up, you notice that your right leg is shackled to the bed.
How sturdy does not the shackle itself, but what it's shackled to, the bed, seem?
But how strong are you again?
Not very, but I'd like nevertheless to try and...
In terms of score?
In terms of score, 1 + 1.
So, you reckon that with all your strength, you might have a slight chance to...
Good. Okay, good enough. Even if I skin the leg itself, I'm going to try as best I can to wrench my leg out of it.
Okay. You can make me a strength or athletics check.
I think I only have... Wait, I might have athletics. I'm not sure.
Feats of strength are generally athletics.
I do not have athletics, so it's just a +1 to this roll. 18.
18. You push and pull, and you actually get the shackle off the bed. It's still on your ankle, but you manage to get it off the bed itself. And the guy next to you, he looks at you. That's a nice feat. He is not chained to the bed, by the way.
Funny. Very, very funny. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to just sort of straighten out whatever fatigues they gave me and see if there's like... Okay, the door itself is solid. There's no like glass or anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much a prison door. Except that most of the walls here are white instead of the generic concrete gray.
Do I see any other, just looking around, any other way to get out of here?
No. Well, there's some ventilation grates in the ceiling, but you'd have to reach them, and they look a lot sturdier than the bed.
Ghastly. No.
Looking to get out?
Yes.
Well, there is a way. Especially now with the riot and all.
Riot? What riot?
Haven't you heard? They blew up the Union.
You knocked me unconscious.
You stabbed out my eye.
So what, we're friends now?
No, but I think we could use someone like you.
Who's we?
I can't tell that.
Then I can't trust you.
I'll tell you after we get out, though. If you're in. Else you will just die on some penal colony anyway.
I sort of chuckled to myself. There's an item of great value to me. I shall retrieve it after we escape. Say that I wanted to find you. Where would I look?
After we escape? There's no such... It's not so much escaping as just getting out. If you know the right people.
Then by the Emperor, I hope
you
I do.
can't be seen in the street.
Fine, let me gather my personal effects, and I'm sure that we can come to some arrangement.
The ones they put in a locker?
Yes, the ones they put in the locker.
I think they
Absolutely.
Now, all we need to do is the next laundry shift. We get uniforms and we walk out with them. We'll go to a safe house. Once we're there, we can arrange for you to pick up your stuff, but we can't stay in the capital.
I want to take a look at the door.
Okay.
How sturdy does it look?
It looks like a solid steel.
What about the lock? Does that seem to be...
There's no lock or
Oh, it's just
anything
a
on the
solid
inside.
steel.
It's a solid steel door, sliding door, actually. There is a comm link next to it, but no numpad or anything. But I might have to ask you to kill someone, though.
Please.
What else are you in for, anyway? If it's not that.
If it's not that, what?
It takes considerable skill to do this.
Perhaps to someone of your disposition. It seems impressive.
Oh, you're the first that did it. The rest died.
I have a nasty penchant for clinging to life.
That will come in handy.
Oh, I assure you it will.
Did I give this guy a name, by the way, last week?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Max.
Max, that was it.
Max. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, I did.
When's the next laundry shift?
I think within the hour. At least that's what I arranged.
For your sake, I hope that you're right. And I take a seat on the bed where I once was.
Yeah.
Tapping my foot.
And what's your name? I gave you mine.
Of no concern.
All right, of no concern. That's what we'll call you from now on. And that's when we cut back to Sefenia, who is en route to a burning building. And in the SWAT Corps, they're excited. They have carapace armor, like riot armor, and they do wear guns instead of batons. There's some of the riot shields as well with them, and yeah, they speed up, and behind them is a fire truck coming up as well. And as you leave. Yeah, I lost the part. As they leave the vehicle, there's a giant fire going on. The Union building was in the middle of an apartment block, and the entire apartment block is burning at the moment. And the fire trucks, they come and start putting out the fire. What would you like to do here? The SWAT, by the way, what they do is they clear the area of any workers, civilians. There's no actual fights going on here or something like that.
All right, she's she's getting out. She's just kind of she's doing her own perimeter patrol, looking for anyone that, I mean, it's too late to look for somebody who's running, but she also knows that sometimes they like to stick around and watch it burn. So she's kind of a little bit further out, patrolling, looking for anybody who seems unduly interested in the fire.
Well, as you look around, you do notice that there's quite a crowd starting to gather behind the Arbeidsline they created. They blocked one of the streets, and there's quite a few people coming to watch there, despite the rain. But they all wear gas masks and protective clothing as well. They are talking heavily amongst them, though.
She's
not
gonna
so much an individual in them that stands out.
She's gonna listen to the conversation, see what she can overhear, see if anything stands out.
Are you wearing your power armor out in the open?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as
And
you
helmet
approach,
down.
Yeah, as soon as you approach, they fall silent. Like, from as soon as you're within 20 meters, they're already that silent and kind of start to disperse.
Anybody that gives me that sense that they're one I should follow, that seems unusually jittery or nervous.
Well, there's a couple that stick together more closely than the rest as they disperse. Like, yeah, they stick together.
Are there any that seem unusually calm? Because remembering the prisoner that they had taken, and how accepting and calm he was.
From body language, all you can get is especially the ones that are sticking close together. They're more like agitated, angry almost.
She's going to monitor them. She's not getting any closer, but she is going to kind of monitor them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Do you follow them down the streets as well?
If I do so as stealthily as possible.
Okay. Well, they do walk away, and they start looking for another street to watch the fire on. Like the street you were approaching, they walk away from it, and then they go around the block and start watching from a different direction.
Is there a way to kind of come up on them that they can't see her?
Yeah. Oh, you're behind him now, so you could stay on the corner of the next street and watch them from a distance.
Yep. She might try to get a little closer, see if she can hear anything, but otherwise, yes, she's keeping an eye on them. But she's also keeping a scan on the area as well.
Yeah. You can roll me a perception for that.
That's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. With that, you will catch several words, like catchwords, and it's more like you catch the name Elijah. And that he would be dead. And there's also word like the bosses did this. That's something that comes back as well.
Do they look unduly upset by that?
Yeah. It's like they're angry that someone blew up Elijah.
Okay. So they've got the feeling that this wasn't the building that was targeted, but somebody in the building.
Both.
Both. Okay. So after a few minutes, she's going to continue her patrol, see if there's anything else that she can pick up.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to inside in a bit. Matilda, Kifkin. Donnie is with you? Still?
Oh,
He was called away just as the explosion happened.
okay.
Kipkin, you can still go and steal something. Donnie can come with me on the car if you want to continue with what you were doing.
Yeah, I now noticing that Donnie's still present. Huh. Oh, right. Well, this is dreadful. But
Yeah. I probably have duties now. So, do you still need me?
all right.
Well, no, you should go and do what you need to do.
Yeah. This is gonna be bad though. You know what they blew up?
The Union Building, I believe.
Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
Yeah. It's to keep the workers happy. The union.
Indeed.
So, yeah, I should probably get the squads in order. Yeah, I gotta run.
We could give you a lift, and she points to the vehicle that they stood right by. Slash, still in.
Yeah, that will do. Let's drive.
All right.
You can just start at the vehicle.
Steal the vehicle and just drive off.
Yeah. We'll take you to the Arbats headquarters.
Okay.
Where Donnie, the first thing he does is he runs inside, starts getting the hang of the situation and ordering people around. So,
Once
and
Donnie's
you are
away.
he basically jumps out of your vehicle as soon as you're there. So, you're on your own inside the compound.
Where to? Where would you like to go?
Muted.
Perhaps we should take a closer look and see who is running away from the explosion.
All right. Pulling around. Flooring it.
Not too
It's,
close, Kipkin. And Matilda realizes she's still keeping on her fake accent because she's now stuck in it.
As you approach the fire, most of the fire is being put out. There's some industrial grade extinguishers at work here, and there's there's a couple of walls left of the building, and you see as you let's put you in the street where Sefenia is looking around as you approach. You see her in her battle armor, power armor, out in the streets.
You know, if I didn't know he was locked up, I would want to blame Vasily.
This is most definitely not his doing, and the fact that there was.
You're right. It's actually effective. And she takes stock of the damage.
So, the damage is the headquarters, which was the center of this apartment block, is pretty much flat with the ground, and the buildings surrounding it burned down halfway. And in the middle, you find mostly charred walls, furniture, and the firemen are still putting out fires.
Well,
Kifkin, I am a little confused. And Matilda's moved closer. We believed the Union was at the heart of the heresy, and yet they've blown the Union up. That doesn't make sense.
no, it does.
Aside from causing chaos.
Well, it does a number of things. One, if it was the center of things, and if they've caught any sort of wind of us or were suspicious of Vasily's activities, this allowed them to burn the evidence. Second, it causes this unrest, civil unrest, and leaves the Arbites and the local authorities distracted. Also, it may have just burned up our one major lead. No, this is in keeping with what we're dealing with. The thing that I'm kind of surprised and quite upset over is the lack of significant Arbites response, considering that they're crawling all over this planet.
There's all my Arbites everywhere here, by the way. They're blocking off the
Yes, here with a ton of Arbite.
Okay. So no, there's the Arbite presence, but if any of them had been doing their homework, this wouldn't have gone off. Not unless somebody higher up wanted it to go off. So either the Arbites are in on this, or we're dealing with somebody probably 2 steps removed from the governor.
We already believe that to be true, although I believe you place too much faith in the Arbites being able to control all heresy and all chaos and all of its instigators. They're just police. Kipkin. But you raise an interesting point. If this is a distraction, what is it a distraction from?
Probably moving of people and material. That would be my best guess. So something is going to be moved and found missing, probably 3 days at the earliest.
What is in the opposite direction of here?
Good question.
Based on what we know about it, yeah.
Yeah, what opposite direction in the capital?
Yes.
Yeah, we're assuming it's local enough for now.
Basically, at the center of the capital, you have the governor's cathedral, which is half factory, half administration, and Gothic architecture. Then there was this is about 5-10 minutes from that, and towards the south you have the Arbites headquarters, and to the north where you came from there's the church, the Grand Cathedral. At the opposite side there is, let's have a look here, the spaceport with next to it you have Refinery 1, which is the last refinery before as it goes into shipment, and Storage Omega, which is also the last step for storage of materials.
Attention would move from here to the governors. They are intertwined. I suspect we should perhaps go and check on the spaceport. Perhaps this is a cover for leaving. For a cultist breakout of sorts.
Or something being brought in. Alright, pulling around. Peel off.
Do you leave Safenya on the street?
Yeah, Matilda was just going to message Safenya, seek out the chaos. There is surely some here. Have fun, Safenya. And like the ship is just...
Madam Inquisitor, you should know that
Did you take a
lower
vehicle?
ranks believe that
Yeah, we took a vehicle, not the...
Yeah, we took a vehicle.
the workers believe that this was something arranged by their bosses.
So do we. What a convenient scheme.
I'm heading back to the Arbite compound.
As you pull around your vehicle to drive off towards the spaceport, the street is blocked by a mass of workers with gas masks on, and they refuse to go aside.
Okay.
Do I see this?
Yeah, you see one of the tracked transporters that came here pulled around and tried to go into the street, but the people there won't budge.
How many people are we talking exactly? Just how many people deep?
The streets around here, they're just wide enough for most vehicles, and in this street there's about 50 or so behind the Arbeits blockade.
I don't think I can knock over that many. I can knock over a few.
Well, this is why you should be familiar with the Book of Judgment, because getting this sort of thing handled out is relatively simple. It's just, I don't know if I'm forceful enough to do this. I'm not good at threatening people.
Sophenya's drawn her sword and started stalking forward towards the crowd.
Let's see if this works. Pulls Inferno pistol, lowers door, hollers out, I don't care if you move or not, but if you want to die, stay put. Aim the pistol at them. You've got 4 seconds to comply.
Female Judge Dredd comes down the road.
Behind you there's a lady of power armor coming down the street as well.
With a power sword in their hand.
As you do that, some try to cower away, fall over each other, and one of them shouts out, so first you blow up our building, and now you start threatening us too?
Oh, I didn't blow up your building. I'm a guest.
And you get more calls for the put the gun away. Why solve this with violence?
Because you're in my way. That was 4 seconds. Fires a shot above all of them.
With your melter pistol?
Yeah.
As you do that...
But I am going to fire.
Yeah. As you do that, the streak of melta goes over them and falls down. And all of a sudden people start screaming. And and they start rushing in every direction. Not just away from you, but the ones that are closest, they actually start coming towards you. And this is a good time to roll initiative.
I work with the forces of chaos. I found the heretics. They're right here. It's us. Spoiler.
And we'll put the mob at 7.
How do we roll initiative in this, Bastian?
Did you put a character in there? Then you just roll a d20 and add your initiative to it from your character sheet.
Okay. Oh, +0. That's easy.
And then we'll put the Arbeits on 3.
I'm going to use my one of my lucks to re-roll this initiative. A little bit better.
Yeah.
Always the way it goes.
7.
You've not been hanging out with Pruitt, have you, Kat?
Rifkin is 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have. Sophenya is 11.
11. Matilda?
18.
18. Okay. So, the order we have is Matilda, then Sophenya, then Kifkin together with the mob, and then the Arbeits respond. So Matilda, you were sitting. You were still sitting in the half track, right?
Sorry, what was
We're
that?
still inside. We're still inside the vehicle. Okay, so that's where you find yourself, and from the window you see Kifkin shooting over the mob, and the Melta, it just falls down after it's been shot into the air, and you see several of them screaming, burning, pulling off their masks, some of them, and the rest of them goes into a blind panic and starts running all directions, including towards Kifkin, the Arbites, and you.
I would like to get out of this vehicle, and I want to... Matilda's aim is to kind of join the running crowd, and she wants to try and get up high. Climb up a building, or... Because it's all prefabby buildings around here, right? Apart from the big...
Yeah, well, these are more long-term, but they're kind of like favelas, like tiered buildings. They've just grown out, modular.
Yeah.
So you can roll me an
basically...
athletics to climb up.
Check my athletics is. Based on strength.
This would be agility climbing.
Oh, agility? Yeah. Awesome. I like that more. That's a 0 as opposed to a -1. 16.
A 16. You do get up one of the buildings about 2 stories high and look down upon the street. That will take both your actions though.
That's fine.
Getting out and getting up. So Sefenia, what you saw happening in front of you is you saw a crowd blocking the vehicle. Someone stepped out of it, fired a Melta weapon, and now the crowd has started running in all directions.
She's going to continue stalking into the crowd, getting it to disperse, and she knows that the Inquisitor and Kifkin are close by somewhere. So she's going to be keeping an eye out for them, but she's got her power sword out, and she is just stalking forward. She's going to keep moving through this crowd.
As you move forward, you see Matilda climbing up a building, and see Kifkin standing with a smoking gun.
I want to add the note that Matilda is wearing her gas mask, by the way.
Okay. I assumed as much for everyone that they would wear protection.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to... There's one of her powers that she has. I think she'd like to... once she gets into a crowd, she gets a good group around her, she's going to start reciting holy text.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to talk to some of these people to find out what happened.
Okay. Do you want to grab a specific person from the runners?
Again, she's looking for anybody who's... are any of the people that she saw earlier talking, are they visible?
Yeah. And they're actually the ones that don't randomly run off, but they're the ones that have a more combat-ready stance. Some of them
Those are the ones she's approaching.
One of them actually pulled a rain pipe of one of the buildings. Another has a power tool, probably from work, in his hand.
Those are the ones she's approaching, and it's just a steady stalking forward to them.
Okay, you can reach them at the end of your turn, and that will put you in melee on your next action.
All right.
Then Kifkin and the mob. Kifkin, what you see just saw happening, as I described, and several of them in their running, they actually are charging you, and they are about to punch you in the face, and you get to do your action at the same time.
I'm actually going to use one of my advantages.
Okay.
In all this chaos, I'm going to use hide in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to disappear.
Okay. For that, it's relatively simple. All you need to do is roll a stealth check against their perception. And if you win, you are hidden. You are hidden. Basically, as they come charging towards you in the crowds, you manage to sneak away with some of the running ones, and as they get to your spot, you are gone. So, that gets us to the Arbites. Well, the mob, of course, they start about 20 of them are not running off, but trying to find whoever shot at them, and they start shaking the vehicle, like banging the vehicle. One of them has put something, a torch or something, on fire. Hell is breaking loose here. The Arbites, basically, they started grouping, like the ones blocking the streets. They started pushing away the other workers that were in those streets to prevent them from coming this way. And whoever the ones that weren't blocking the street, they are forming up to prepare a charge on this street. And that puts us back to Matilda.
Matilda wants to push across buildings, if possible, in the direction of the spaceport. She is getting away from this chaos. She is off to investigate how people will have fun doing what they do best. But she needs to go and get to a vehicle that's not stuck in traffic right now.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will skip you on the next one. Sefenia. The crowd is starting to try to demolish this vehicle.
She turns it on her like external comm, and you hear the eerie voice of Sefenia. It's a very light, feminine voice coming out of this huge power armor. It says, "Let the word of the Emperor be heard once more, wherever men gather, and look upwards unto the stars. Let them know that the Emperor looks back upon them from the golden throne, wherever in this benighted galaxy they might reside." And the sword is out, and she is going to attack someone.
All right. There's
I like how she's preaching like peace and inspiration, and she's gonna slice someone's head off.
There's 20 that are actively trying to find the shooter and are around the vehicle. And unless you have takedown or an area attack, you can take down one of them.
She'll just start mowing through them one at a time. That's fine.
So these are they're considered for the system. They are considered minions, which means you, as a non-minion, can make an attack as a what's the name again? Like when you do skill checks, when they're trivial to you. Not standard.
Yeah.
I lost the word. I'm Dutch. You can take 10 on the roll because they're minions.
Oh, okay.
And if they fail their resistance check, they die. That's pretty much how it works. If you make an attack roll, you can get criticals and stuff like that. Make special things happen. So if you want to mow down one, you can take 10.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay. He will make a resistance roll. What's your effect rank?
Let me see. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm looking for here on my sheet.
Let me just grab the folder for you there. Okay, Inquisitor. Oh yes,
You mean
characters. Sefenia. Yeah, I've got the character sheets here. So.
okay?
You're looking for on the calc or on your sheet the power rank of your power sword, which comes at 7. Yeah, and
Yep.
it's penetrating and force damage. So
Yep.
he has to make a 22 not to take any damage. He doesn't. So you cut him. Tell me how you kill the first insurgent.
She just takes the head clean off.
Okay. And
That
the
could
body
be
drops
only-
limp to the floor.
Yeah.
Matilda.
And she just slices the head off and brings the sword around and is ready for the next one.
Okay.
To her, these are heretics. She doesn't need to find out for sure.
Next, the mob and Kifkin. Kifkin, you managed to blend in with the crowd that was running, and you're now in the shadows of one of the buildings. As the mob, the one with the torch, it's actually a plasma torch, and he starts cutting up the vehicle with it.
Seeing
like a flare plasma torch.
How close is Safenia to the vehicle?
Safenia has just reached. If you have the vehicle in the middle of the street, there's 5 to 10 meters filled with workers, and she cut down the first one she reached.
Okay. I would like to try something epically stupid.
Okay.
I am going to try and fire my Melta pistol,
Yeah.
the Inferno pistol, at the car and know where to hit in the car so it explodes.
You can roll me a technology to see if you know the perfect way on this vehicle.
Since I have IDEC memory and this involves remembering something, I get a +5 to this.
Okay.
So that would be a 31.
Yeah. This is a half-track personnel carrier. It has a big fuel tank, like right above the tracks. And if you would shoot straight through it, you can hit both, causing an epic explosion. Knowing your weapon, you don't actually need to roll an attack roll with your weapon, as it's an area attack. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You can describe me how the vehicle explodes and kills. Hang on. 16.
So Kifkin just, again, behind the building from the shadows, just squints, kind of puts the hand up like he's using more of a plasma weapon, knowing this is going to be bad, lets off a shot, streaks through the air, just this hissing green, and then there's this bright flash of light, and then there's a bigger flash of light and a giant explosion as this vehicle just tears itself apart. A giant ball of flame and shrapnel erupts, tossing bodies, bits, workers, equipment every which way, and there's a small crater in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Safenia, you can roll me a reflex save. Is it called like that? Let's have a look. You can roll me dodge, actually.
Okay, and I have uncanny dodge for this.
Yeah, uncanny dodge gives you a just do again. Let's have a look.
She's not caught surprised.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not surprised by this or caught off
Yeah,
guard.
you see it coming, so you can roll.
Okay, so roll a dodge.
Yeah.
I want to. No, it's not letting me grab. There we go.
Ooh.
Can I use another luck?
Yeah, you can use your other luck to reroll.
Okay. Yeah, I have 3 luck in addition to my hero points.
Just so you know, what would happen is the vehicle, as it explodes, the back door would pretty much hit you straight on, and you would have to make a toughness save against it, which is effect 5. So you can balance that with if you want to spend the luck there.
Okay, so that's a 14.
A 14. That will mean you roll against half effect. rounded down in this case. So you need to resist an effect 2, giving you a difficulty class of 17 to take no damage at all. I think your sheet doesn't have your armor calculated in it. So
No, it does not. I couldn't figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can fix that later on.
But I'm wearing plate armor with a protection of 4 for
4,
impervious.
Okay, so with impervious, which means that as the effect is below your impervious, you take no damage.
Okay.
If you wouldn't have made the save, you'd had to roll.
Okay.
And just like that, everything worked out.
Basically, what happens is you see Kifkin. You see someone because you didn't see Kifkin shooting the melter weapon at the vehicle. It explodes, and the back door comes sailing at you, hits your armor, and falls to the side as you mostly dodged it, and falls to the floor behind you, killing another.
Yep. She kind of puts the arm up, and it bounces off, hits another guy, and then she turns around and looks at the 3 that were standing there with the improvised weapons with their power sword. Like,
they are dead.
Shall we? Oh, they're dead? Oh, okay.
Yeah. The ones that were closest to the vehicle, they are all dead. And there's a crater in the road. There's several of them still around, and let me see. And they do start to run now.
As long as they're scattering like a Frady running, she's just going to start moving towards the Arbite headquarters now.
Yeah. What happens after that is the Arbite's turn. And as they see the explosion, they pull out their weapons and they aim them at Kifkin. Telling you to shouting stand down. And the other streets you hear shouting and screaming as well now. Which puts us back at Matilda. Matilda, you do notice the explosion. You keep on going?
I think she does. But she is going to use a new power. Pretty please, communication power. Yeah. And she wants to whisper into Donnie's mind, and she is going to plant the seed about the port. She's going to keep it strange so that it's not her voice, so he can't recognize it's her. I imagine I'm going to have to roll to convince him to let me speak in his head.
Yeah. So the new power you have is a communication. I think I put it at rank 3 or 2. To balance the
let me have a look. Communication 4.
Yeah, 4.
Check
so that means
5, side effect 1.
Yeah. So what this means, it's psychic powers like the others. You mentally travel to the person and you can whisper in their head. You still have to make the willpower check to see if it goes off successfully. If it fails, there's still chance for problems.
18.
Yeah, that will happen. And you can basically speak to anyone you know that is within the nation.
So I think pausing on that rooftop, that 5th or whatever number she's on now, she just does a whoosh as she moves to Donnie's mind. Through time and space, it seems. And she says, "You should look at the spaceport. You know, this is just a distraction. You should find them and stop them."
Yeah, it's one way, so I will note it down. Where's Donnie?
And yeah. And then she keeps running when she snaps back to herself. As long as she can plant that idea in his head, whether he's suspicious as fuck of it or not, doesn't matter. The idea has been planted.
You can roll me a deception to see how good you fake the voice.
Okay, I can do that.
A deception.
And my deception is plus 10. I'm a hella good liar. 25.
And I will give you 2 bonus to this, as he's never experienced this. And he
27.
27 against his 21. So you successfully disguise your voice. You are convinced you disguised your voice.
Matilda's pretty good at pretending not to be herself.
Yeah.
Plus, Dummy's never heard Matilda's real voice either, so she could have just used her real voice.
Yeah. That would have given you a bigger bonus even. So let's see. We are... Let's scroll down again. We are at the... That's Sylvania, back at the top. We killed 16 of the 20. There are 4 alive that were looking at the vehicle. One of them is gravely wounded, basically missing a leg, and the other 2 they are starting to run. The rest of the crowd had already scattered. Muted.
Sorry about that. Do they look like they were part of the just... You always have, when you have a mob like that, you get the people that get caught up in the energy of it. And then you have the people who are the core. Yeah. Did they look like instigators?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in that case, she's going to approach them, and I have a ranged attack that does dazzle.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do that. Use that power.
Okay. Yeah. You have your character sheet up, so...
Yeah, it's my holy text.
The holy text. Is it in this one?
Her holy presence.
Yeah, we have... I have holy text in your powers, and then we have the dazed and paralyzed affliction.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm correct. Equip? Yeah. It's in equip. And it's an area perception. So anyone that can see you, as you read it aloud, has to make a will save. Mm-hmm. And the worse they roll, the worse they get. So...
Right.
And it's limited. It only works on heretics, by the way. This one,
Mm-hmm.
the holy text. So in this case, I will for form roll saves. Oh, in the box. One of them is really impressed, and as you recite the prayers, he starts trying to follow the words, like when you're praying at church, when you say Amen at the end, that style. Mm-hmm. And the other one is still running away in a blind lane.
She's going to go after the one that's running away. How far away from her is she?
You can keep up with him. As you have one move action, he is using both his actions to move, and you.
Can I quick draw and pull the hell gun and shoot them?
Yeah, what you can do, you have your move action still, but you can also take extra effort to get an extra standard action this turn. Okay. But it means you will be fatigued for the rest of the scene until you take a rest.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
So, you can make me an attack roll, and you can take 10 on it, because he is a minion still. That's up to you.
Let's roll for it. Let's see how she does. Yeah, that's a 23.
Yeah. Okay, that hits him.
That's a penetrating 2, I think.
Okay, so 2. So the DC is 17 to take no damage. You shoot him in the back of the head, and he topples forward.
And then I turn around and I look at the one who's been reciting prayers along with me, and I say, "You will tell me everything you know." And I put a hand on their shoulder.
Okay. That does put you out of combat as the direct threat has been dealt with. So, and in the corner of your eye you see Kifkin. Oh wait, we still have Kifkin. We're in the standoff with the Arbites. And the first one is Kifkin. Kifkin, you are facing 10 Arbites in riot armor with carbines trained on you.
Slipping just naturally back into the Antonius persona. Oh, gentlemen, so glad you could arrive. Holsters the internal pistol. Oh, I'm guessing this is your first riot. All right. I will definitely come peaceably. We can go over all the details over some recaf back at the station. But I do say you probably should be training your weapons on the rioters. I was just a citizen of the Imperium defending myself.
As you put up your hands, one of them approaches you and puts you in handcuffs, takes away your weapon, and tells you, well, at the very least...
There's so many!
And you are put in the back of a SWAT car. Waiting.
Okay. While we're waiting, I would like to disable the cuffs and just slip out of them.
Yeah. Sylvania, you do see this happening? The Arbites basically followed your example into the street and but apprehended the one that shot the rioters. And the sergeant of them comes up to you and says, well, we caught someone, we don't know who, but he shot at the workers. That's a serious.
Yes, he shot at the ones that were.
They asked you, should we take him in? They look to your leader.
We should question him.
And
to see what he knows.
You wanted to try to escape?
Are you safer with me or on the streets?
Yeah. Are you there?
No. I'm just going to. I'm going to stay in the wagon, but I'm going to slip out of the cuffs.
Okay. You can roll me a sleight of hand for that.
All
Unless
right.
you have a specific tool to do it, then I'll.
Actually, I have jack of all trades, as well as another advantage that allows me to do any check that would require tools with no tools.
Okay.
What advantage is that one again? I love that thing. Oh, improvised tools. I don't need tools.
Okay, so that will allow you to do a sleight of hand without a lockpick.
Okay. So, sleight of hand.
The DC 15.
Nat 20.
Okay. You easily remove the cuffs. And you can do whatever you want with them, like pretend they're still closed if you want.
Just in the back of the squad car, take the cuffs off, put them in his pocket, just rest his hands peaceably. If anyone asks, oh yeah, no, standard design 1338-2. There's a defect in the right angle of the cuff. It's easy to break through. You really are using substandard cuffs.
There's
But
no one in the car with you as you recite that.
Fantastic!
And so, Stefania, the sergeant, what did you instruct the sergeant?
Well, I've got the one rioter that I've got the hand on, the one survivor, this one and that one will be questioned by me at the headquarters.
Yes, miss. And any you need transportation for that?
There's a squad
She
car
came
right
here
here. I
without-
believe you can drive that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We'll have the squad come with you if you want, as there's probably hell to break loose.
You think there's hell breaking loose at the Arbite headquarters?
No, not the headquarters is fortified. I'm talking about the streets. I mean, if they block a street like this, you shouldn't go alone.
You can come with me.
And he'll order his squad, which is a 6-man team, to take place around Kifkin and in the back, and the chauffeur
And the other
drives you
person.
to where you want to go.
Yep, Kifkin and the other one that she kept alive.
Okay. He's putting cuffs as well. And he keeps on murmuring prayers. All right, where are we at? Where do you want to go? Safenga.
Back to Arbite headquarters.
Okay. Yep, they'll drive to the headquarters. Matilda, you'll take quite a while to get to the spaceport, as it would have been a 10-minute drive.
When it's in eyesight, eye line, she wants to watch it from a distance to start with, see if she can just see something leaving, because she knows how long this is taking her to get there.
Yeah. Currently, there's 2 carriers, transporters, orbital transporters, that are on fuel lines, being filled up with acids, and the gates around the spaceport have been closed. There is security standing at them. They are armed, as opposed to just having a baton.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Arbites around the spaceport in the streets, patrolling the streets, keeping them clear of anyone approaching.
I think she'll just bunker down on this rooftop and just watch. Seeing that there is a full response going on, that's good. Obviously, we are highly suspicious of the government, so a full response could mean nothing. She's just gonna bunker down on this roof and open her mind a little bit just to the world and the sounds around her, and just wait. Her team will be in contact eventually. They'll be in trouble soon enough. She's just gonna keep eye, and she doesn't want to get too close and get swept up, because she doesn't have a good reason for being there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When you get there and you took in the environment, you see the transport of Donnie driving up there with 2 more vehicles behind it, and they drive into the spaceport perimeter up to a building and walk inside. There's around 30 Arbites behind him. I think that's 6 full squads, if I'm correct. Yeah. So 36 actually. So he did hear you.
He did. And he did what the voice in his head told him. That's interesting.
So while everything was happening on the streets, Jason, are you good to go?
Ready and willing.
Ready and willing. As Max said, the laundry shift comes in, and what they do is they open a door, they drive in a laundry basket. There's one average guy, like you've seen before in the prison, like the service personnel, half servitor, and he turns around, leaves the cart, and walks off with the door open.
Thank you, sweetheart.
As he walks off, Max stands up, pulls off one of the sheets of the cart, and puts on a service uniform, which is in the basket.
You clean up quite nicely, and I look to see if there's a similar uniform.
Yep. There
All
is.
right,
It's
put it on.
ill-fitting, but it is there. And there's like a security badge as well. with like a RFID card.
High enough to get into the personal effects locker?
Probably. Max response, if that was the question. I hope so. Let's go and find out, right?
Let's go. I just turn and try to make my way to the personal effects locker as quickly as possible.
Yeah. The personal effects is quite. First you leave the secured area of the prison, which is no issue. As soon as you walk up to the door, you're greeted by guards, and as the door opens when you scan the badge, you can just walk into the lower security part where the prisoners were taken in. Walk up to the desk, and you were greeted by someone in a similar uniform.
Okay. I'll go up to the person and say, looking for the personal effects of a person who was recently processed. We have reason to believe that they might have contaminated their clothing with some sort of neurotoxin.
Oh, that's quite serious. Do you have a tag?
Hold up my tag.
No, not your badge. I mean the prisoner tag. He was a worker here, right?
He was, but look, can I just step on through? This is really important, and we need to get this out of the vicinity as soon as possible.
Roll me a persuasion.
All right, I'm very good at that. Yep. That's 6 plus a lot, so oh my god, 16.
16. That's a tie.
I'd like to invoke my power. The first time that I've done it. I want to try. Second time?
Oh, the
really?
power, your power, yeah, your luck
yes,
power,
but,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
my luck control power.
All
yes.
right.
Let's see if I remember the name correctly. Domine Libra Nos. It's a spiritual leadership sort of thing. I would like the person to roll and take, basically impose, what is it called? Disadvantage on the roll.
Yeah,
So
he has to re-roll and take the
worst result.
He had
Yes.
a 16 before.
Yep.
He has a 19 now, so it's still a tie.
Still a tie. Okay, I'll just keep it at a tie for now and just sort of look at him very intently.
I can get them for you, but without a tag, it's gonna be hard to find. So just walk with me, and if you see the tag, there's a dozen or so new arrivals. So we'll go over them together.
Fair enough. I motion for him to open the door.
It's sealed, correct? The toxin.
Yes.
Else I would be dead.
He nods.
Yeah, and he opens the door for you. And
Thank you.
and Max
And
waits
I-
at the counter.
All right. I turn to him, narrow my eyes very, very, like, I got your number, motherfucker, and go to the personal effects locker to find my shit.
Yeah, it takes about 6 before you reach yours, and he hands it over to you. So, which one of the effects is the toxin?
Potentially all of them. The only report was the cloak, but I think it would be prudent for me to extract all of it, simply to have it as a precaution. And I shove it in my coat and begin making my way out. Not asking or waiting for any questions.
Sign! As he shouts behind you.
I
Forgot
ignore
to
and
sign?
No. Not my problem.
Max leads you to service exit. like past the canteen, into the garbage disposal laundry rooms, and then a door outside where you're met with the heavy rain outside.
Oh, marvelous! I'll strip the service uniform and get back my actual coat and gas mask affixed.
Max puts on a gas mask as well. Grabs one from a locker right next to the door. So, you had more stuff to grab here? Are you ready to go?
My flamer is with Sifenia, right?
Yes.
I think yes. So, and I left my chain sword on the ship.
You do know where there are guns in this building. You did see them last session.
I do. More specifically, I know where they have chain swords, which might be more conspicuous. I look to Max. Wait here for a moment, and I will go to the weapons locker and secure for myself a chainsword.
I will take a hero point if you want to do that.
Go ahead. Take it. I don't
Take
need
a
it.
hero point. Yeah. You managed to get to the weapons locker, grab a chainsword, which is rare for weapons lockers. That's why I'm taking the point. And it's a nice one. It's an old one because they rarely use it here.
I sort of take the handle and sort of pat it lovingly because I actually like when the weapons are older. Means they work well.
Yeah, you're right. Typical 40k. Typical
40k.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Sifenia. Just as Vesely walks off, arrives at headquarters. But you don't see
I
him.
see. I don't see it. Okay.
You enter through the main yard, which is at the other side of the building. The squad car drives up under what's the roof? Carport.
No, nodding. Yeah.
Yeah, a carport, and they take the prisoners inside.
Yeah, I have them put them in the room that I was using before.
Okay.
And I follow them behind. I ask where David is and where Sergeant Donnie is.
What you get from that is that David is busy coordinating reserves to get back on duty, and Donnie is off to the spaceport for investigation.
Good. She's not going to mention her suspicions that the explosion was a distraction, and then she's going to take. She'll join Kipkin and the other prisoner in the room. Close the door. Make sure that they don't have any monitoring equipment in there, or disable it. She'll disable it.
Okay.
And then she's going to look at the one that's still muttering prayers, and she's going to say, "Now you will tell me everything you know."
And he keeps reciting prayers. So, Lord Emperor, I will go to church every Sunday from now on. Well, it's not. There's no weeks in this planet, so every 10 days.
Tell me everything you know.
I just work at the refinery, and here's my union pass.
I take it, I put it down, and I reach for their shirt, and I pick them up. Tell me everything you know.
He starts going into the specifics of his work. Like, I pick up these vets here, bring them there.
About the explosion.
They blew up Elijah. And he starts crying.
Who blew up Elijah?
I don't know.
Who is Elijah?
Elijah, the union leader.
Why?
He shakes his head.
Why did you attack me and the vehicle?
I got caught up in the moment.
You're lying. Try again.
Roll me an insight.
Oh, jeez. All
Are
right,
you
I'm gonna
spend.
I'm gonna use a hero. I'm gonna use a
You
hero
had
point.
one more, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that's
Really?
14 plus 4. Because
Yep.
it's below 10, you get the 10 added. Giving you 18.
Yep.
He's speaking the truth.
Who is in charge of the group, of the mob?
I don't know who he was, but he's dead.
You're not very helpful.
I know. And he does
Let's try this
start
again.
prayer again.
Let's try this again. Tell me what you know about Elijah and the explosion.
Oh, there was an explosion, and Elijah was gonna give a lecture later today. He was inside. You seen the building?
What was he going to give a lecture about?
Worker rights?
Who would not want him to do that? I thought the union was approved by the governor.
Oh, it is, but I don't know.
Yes, you do.
You see fear in his eyes, as he doesn't want to say no for fear of being cut down.
Tell me what you know.
And he starts talking about how he got with the union. So basically, when he arrived here on the planet to work, he was spurred into getting to work with the union, as he was guaranteed to get a slightly better pay, or at least guarantee of pay this time. We noticed that after a week he got paid late anyway. And then things like gas masks are better quality provided to the union workers.
What about those that leave the planet?
Oh, I don't know. I will go back to my family in 5 years, I hope. If I don't die in prison.
Do you know anyone who's left the planet?
Yeah. Well, no one comes to work here because they want to. Well, want to stay long. There's people leaving all the time. Some go to other factories, others go back to their home planet. I signed up for 10 years here.
Tell me about the cult.
There's a cult?
I want to sense heresy on him.
Go ahead. I should touch him. He's clean.
She's just going to let him go, drop him.
And he starts muttering prayers again. You're in the room with Kifkin and this guy.
I look at Kifkin. Tell me what you know.
Maintaining the Antonius persona. Oh, well. Trying to head to the spaceport after all this unpleasantness with the explosion. And then there were these workers blockading the street. Shouted a warning for them to disperse. They refused. Produced a weapon. Asked them to disperse.
What were you doing there?
Heading to the spaceport to try and get to safety away from all this nonsense. And
where were you coming from? What was your point of origin?
Well,
we?
Yes, me and my seneschal. She has gone missing since the unpleasantness. We had taken a tour of Factory 5, but were warned to get back into town before, the acid rain started off since we took the cutter. During the process of the tour, our tour guide, out of seemingly nowhere, threw himself into a pool of acid. Very unpleasant.
Your tour guide threw himself into a vat of acid.
Yes.
I look at the other guy and see how he's taking that news.
He's completely closed off. He's holding his head and reciting prayers.
Yes, Inspector Joseph, poor fellow. I was trying to regale him with one of the stories from my past, and this is the second time someone has committed vicious suicide upon himself after mentioning the story. So, that was going to be retired. Retired. But after getting back, shortly after getting back into the capital, my seneschal and our liaison officer Donnie were planning on having a drink later, and I was going to take the cover back up to our ship and stay in my pleasant room. But then the explosion happened, and it was a matter of getting to safety, considering the rain would ground us for a while, and acquired a vehicle with Donnie, dropped him off at the Arbite's office because he was a definite hurry, and then tried to make the way to the spaceport because, well, that's a safe place. They usually have guards there. The Arbites over at the Arbite, well, here, were running around like chickens with their heads cut off. It didn't feel safe at all. And so was making way, and then all of a sudden there were all these workers, and they were seemingly quite intimidating and refused to get out of the road. Again, repeated askance, fired a warning shot, then they came after me, then slipped away. Then, this not being the first time I've been in the riot, made note of the half-track, its design, and put a solid shot between the two fuel tanks, causing a crater.
I stop him right there. I hold up my finger. I stop him right there. I look at the other guy. He told me everything he knows. Follow his example. Tell me everything you know.
I think we have only 5 more episodes left. So, right?
I think we could get through half of it, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, Cassie. Did you have a plot we were meant to be following?
No, it's
So she looks and she goes, "Why were you at the building? What was Elijah's lecture about? Who set the explosion?
Matilda sits on a rooftop, waiting for friggin' hours.
Yeah. So we'll take a short break and get back to this conversation in a moment. Matilda, about half an hour after Donnie arrived, there's another Arbeits vehicle with escort coming in. It's bigger, and it has markings of bomb squad on the back, and enters the perimeter.
Do Arbeits come out to meet it? As in they've kind of expected it to arrive?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when they approach the other vehicles, several of them are halting them, telling them where to park. And out come several persons in heavy armors, like spaced armors.
Mm-hmm.
And they carry some auger-like devices with screens, and they just start walking. After they geared up, they start walking the perimeter, scanning the perimeter with their device.
Alright. I want to look around to see if anyone else is watching. See if I can see anyone taking an interest in this area.
Make me
That isn't enough. Perception. Let's check what my additional is, because I think I have some points. This is where I have no points. Let me see. Oh, plus 10. I do have additional points.
Yeah, you're perceptive and you're inquisitive.
16.
16. The Arbeits are there. There were workers at the shuttles, but they've been sent off, and several of them are watching under a canopy, sheltered from the rain.
Matilda, not wanting to be out here exposed any longer, is going to go and get down off this building and go over to them.
Okay. Are you going to try to sneak past the gate, or over the walls?
she's going to walk up.
Okay. There's you're halted by the Arbeits at the gate. They were chatting with the spaceport security personnel, and you're halted and asked what you come to do here.
Oh, I'm escaping the riots. The city's gone mad. And she imitates being, out of breath and scared and everything. Matilda is genuinely not. Sorry, what was that?
And soaked in acid rain. So, that's all good and well, but then you'd better go home.
I'm not from this planet. And don't you know who I am? Who's in charge here?
You got any credentials with you?
I'm with the rogue trader, and she points up to where our ship is.
Yeah, I want to go home as well.
Yes, home would be great. Right now, I'll settle for undercover. Look, you can sort it out with the arbiters who I am. Just let me in.
So, who can we reach for you?
The liaison, Donnie. Yes, Sergeant Donnie. Or I met the governor. You could call the governor. Why don't you do that?
You think I have a line with the governor?
Well, I do.
Why don't you call him then?
Maybe I will.
But
Do you have a phone?
hang on a moment. What's your name?
I can't remember. Did I give her a fake name before? I didn't, did I?
Well,
this is Charlie being really bad with names, not.
Yeah, that's Charlie being bad at names, because I would assume you at least gave them a name to Donnie. And
I didn't write one down.
okay. Want a random name generator or something?
She will go with. What was Antonius's last name?
Danica.
Danica?
Yeah.
She'll be Josephine Danica because, sure. We're either related or married. No one has asked.
Okay. Okay. Just wait here a second. And there is a shelter here against the rain. So he goes on his comms. Comes back a minute later. Come with me, and he walks you to the building Donnie went into.
She's
And brings
kind
you
of
to
like
Donnie.
sheltering. I imagine she found like a bit of rubble or like a spare sheet of broken metal or something, and she's holding it over her head like an umbrella.
Well, you're brought inside, and
Yeah.
The guard says, "This is the one who told me she knew you," and he looks up with dead serious face. Not you haven't seen that before from him. How do you know I'm here?
I didn't know you were here. I just said you were our liaison. I was just trying to find someone so I could get inside. I lost Antonius in the capital, and it's raining.
There's
And there's
thousands of
explosions.
buildings here.
Yes, but
It
only
doesn't-
one has
doesn't-
our spaceship attached
Doesn't
to
matter.
it.
You can. It's okay. You can just don't get in the way. We're doing a search for more explosives. So, just so you know.
The dock's in danger? The port? Is our ship okay?
Well, if someone blows up a union, we don't want to be stuck here on this planet if we want to load the vessels up in the sky anyway. So, no. Spaceport has to
Alright.
be safe.
Yes. Carry on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just needed to get inside, and he asked who I knew. I told him to call the governor.
Helaas, it's. You gotta remember, these are just. These are trustworthy guards. They don't meet anyone up high.
I know.
They meet-
I was scared. And it was raining.
I can't guarantee you're safe with me, but safer than on the streets.
And she's very happy because she's now indoors and she can wait here.
Okay. All right. Let's head back to Jason. At Vasily. You went to pick a chainsword.
Yep.
You come back to Max, or do you take off?
I'll follow Max for as long as is convenient.
Okay. Max brings you to a civilian vehicle, waiting one street down. Opens the door for you.
A gentleman. Truly and surely. I climb into the vehicle.
And there's a driver in the front seat on the left, and a big, sturdy guy in the right seat.
I keep the chainsword squarely at my side, angling it towards the big guy that's sitting in front of me.
And they start driving towards where did I put it? Let's say north, down the streets. He does avoid any Arbeits checkpoints. Like when you look out the window, you see them pass by several that are on other street corners, but he managed to avoid them.
Oh, I'm sorry, are we not the savoriest of characters?
Max looks at you. What do you think? What
I
would
myself-
happen? What would happen if we go into a checkpoint and I check that little tag of yours in your neck and find out you should be in prison? Do you think you'll make it back to prison?
Suppose not.
right. So first we go to the safe house. There we can rest up, get your wound sorted out. It's a nasty. He hit you square in the head. Nasty bump.
I haven't seen it, so it's like
That's what
sure,
you
whatever
mentioned.
you say.
You do start to feel a headache.
Oh.
And I need to get this replaced. It won't take long.
I still have my link, like my comm link to the Inquisitor, right?
No.
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 Shit.
Well, unless you, we didn't specify that you snuck it in.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Because Savenia took the inquisitorial specifics, like the flamethrower and...
Yeah. I think that might have meant the comm link as well.
Well, how small is the comm link? Like, how easy would it have been, like, theoretically, to hide it?
Yeah.
About the size of an earbud, typically, or larger.
Well, yeah, on this level, it would. But you were checked into like a prison and as well an infirmary, and if they wouldn't have found it on the check, they would have found it in the infirmary.
Yeah. Fine. There's an individual I need to contact. Can I do so at that safe house or whatever?
Yes.
Marvelous. Let's get there post haste then.
They will take a half an hour. They're driving towards the shanty town. All right, Savenia, Kifkin. What are you still talking about at the moment?
Is the prisoner still muttering his prayers?
Yeah.
No. At this point, I think she's just going to draw the sword again.
Okay.
And put it under his chin and say, if you cannot tell me what I need to know, then you have two choices. You can either die on a prison planet, or you can die right here. The difference will be you telling me what you know.
He starts reciting the muttering out loud now. You know the prayers he's making. And give me just 1 second. If I have anything he can give you. No, he's blank. He
No
doesn't give you anything
names.
new. He basically just tells you all the names he knows, like his superior, his foreman, his co-workers, all of them.
No names of the people that he was with at the riot, any of that.
Yeah, he names a couple that were with him that are now dead.
Okay.
They just finished
She'll
the
take
shift.
note of this.
The question is, do you put him out?
I've sensed no heresy. He's reciting his prayers. She's going to call for an arbite and have him... He's never leaving this planet. He's now here for as long as he happens to survive at the worst hellhole that they have.
Okay, so you order them to send him off to the hellhole.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he takes him away. Almost has to drag him. And how about the other one?
This one I have more questions for.
He closes the door behind him as he takes away the worker.
I get on the comm and I go, Madam Inquisitor, I have Kifkin with me at Arbite headquarters. Is there anything we can do for you?
Is there somewhere private in this room that Matilda can move to, like away from all the people she's currently surrounded by?
Yeah, Donnie is standing next to several officers around a table with layout of the spaceport. There's several icons like a silo with a number on a small display. There's a shuttle placed also with a number on it, and several lines lighting up. And there's several alcoves with benches and other machinery and the side room.
She'll go and just sit in one of the alcoves and kind of make a show of kind of fussing with her clothes and checking everything over. And as she's doing this and conveniently covers her mouth, she says, find Vasily. This place is going to shit. She is clearly in a very bad mood.
Would I have heard, do we know anything about the breakout? Has that news gotten out?
You know what you have done, where you have been, and
So no,
you
we
have
don't.
not checked on Vasily, so no.
Okay, so that's the next step. Is she's going to go find the desk sergeant, and my investigation has led me around back to the criminals that I brought in earlier. I need to speak with him again.
Yeah, we can arrange a meeting with him. The desk sergeant. And as he said that, he starts typing. We will have him brought to interrogation cell.
How long?
Should be 5 minutes. It's
Very
a
well.
5 minute walk down the hallway. So yeah. Oh, a bit less.
She's gonna. Yeah. All right. She goes back to the interrogation room and waits.
Yeah. After about 10 minutes, there's a knock on the door, and a guard officer comes in. Madam,
You have my prisoner.
There is no prisoner.
Excuse me.
We looked everywhere, but he is not in the prison.
You lost him.
I don't work in the prison, so hypothetically, I didn't lose him, but we can't find him.
I gave him to you. You cannot give him back to me. You lost him.
It's a different guard officer, but
She doesn't make the distinction.
yeah. We will do everything we can to find him.
Tell me, how does one lose a prisoner?
Generally, when they die,
Mm-hmm.
we will check the
In that
infirmary.
case, you would have a body.
We will check the infirmary as well.
You haven't
Might
checked
have
the
just slipped
infirmary
under the
already.
nose. Yeah, we did.
But
Yeah, he's not in the infirmary either.
then where is he?
We don't know.
Are you trying to avoid telling me that one of your prisoners has escaped your custody?
Apparently so.
I see. And are you missing any others?
We would have to do a head count, which is already scheduled.
You haven't
now.
done that. You haven't done that yet.
They are working.
When
on
you
that.
found one missing,
There's 500
didn't-
people here.
And
499.
one goes missing, and you don't immediately check to see if there are any others missing.
We are counting as we speak.
Was there anybody that was taken to the infirmary with him?
He never mentioned infirmary, by the way.
Oh, I thought he did.
He said
He would check the infirmary.
Infirmary? Oh, yeah, he meant the morgue. He meant the morgue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for bodies. Infirmary for bodies, that's the one he said.
Okay.
The morgue was empty too. But we're working on checking the logs. We're working on counting heads.
Work faster.
Yes, ma'am.
And then she closes the door, and then she's immediately on the comm going, Madam Inquisitor, Vasily seems to have escaped.
Good. Stay where you are. Where's Kifkin?
He is with me.
Good.
And it appears that the gentleman Elijah is one of the union leaders, was scheduled to give a lecture later today on the need for more workers' rights.
Elijah,
And
we
the
didn't
workers-
meet this man.
No, we have not met him. The workers believe that he and the building were blown up to make a statement by those who are in charge.
That they do not like the union? Or they did not like Elijah running the union?
Both, I believe.
Have Kifkin figure out who is likely to take over the union.
Yes,
But
Madam Inquisitor.
I am less interested in it than other matters. Vasily's escape is curious, but not surprising. He is a fine snake.
He does seem to find his way to wiggle out of things.
Well,
I will
I
keep-
am safe, but I am surrounded by people and I have things to do.
One more thing, Madam Inquisitor. You would be... I would advise that you be careful around Sergeant Donny. It seems that David, there's something odd about him. He is not a heretic, but I sense something wrong. in
David,
him.
the man that Donnie works for.
Yes, the one he reports to directly. He is the head of the Arbeit.
The keeper of the pets. Yes, I remember.
Yes.
Thank you, Sylvania.
I will keep you advised if I hear anything more. And then I'll let Kifkin know that what the Madam Inquisitor would like him to do.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to get access to at least a few different information panels and probably a collection of data slates in order to sift through everything. That means, okay, I can try to swing it as Antonius, but that's gonna
Tell
be
me what
tough.
you need. I will get it for you.
I need access to a comms terminal in here. At the very minimum, being able to, and that's with outside access. I need to get into union records and stuff that's probably been manipulated digitally. Because if there is something where they're trying to put their guy in place, it would probably have at least a couple of electronic fingerprints on it.
Wait here. I'll go out to the desk sergeant and tell him I need access without, not just local access, but outside access comms panel. And I need access to all union records.
The first one, definitely, we have a comms room. The second one, we don't have their records, but we have records of any actions they have had, repercussions, anything like that. Anything in our legal system.
Wonderful. Where do I find this?
The comms, he gives a route to both comms and administration.
Okay, so I have in the room. There's a comms panel.
Yeah, when you go into the communications room, it's a two-tiered room. There's a lower area with servitors hooked into communications devices, wires going into their back of the head, bodies as well. There's several humans around as well, who are monitoring data streams and on actual headsets talking. You see a holographic projection of the city with circular markers with red dots, some smaller, some blinking, some orange, some red, some yellow. And you are led to a communications panel, which is big, quite big, with several headsets, and the operator asks you, who should I dial into for you?
Actually, I would have grabbed Kipkin and brought him with me.
Yeah, sure.
Questions? Yes. I am Antonio Stacker, a rogue trader here, trying to conduct some business, and have, unfortunately, a good deal of experience with riots, and I have been drafted by the sister to aid her in her investigations.
For the Emperor.
For the Emperor. So, as such, I need to get a hold of whoever has access to the digital database of the Union.
The Union database, we don't have access to that here. We can call pretty much any location and put you on a line with an operator there.
Actually, if you get me a hold of the head of the local administratum, that would be lovely.
Yes, we will try to get him on the line. He starts his prayer of communication, right of communication, and starts punching in numbers.
As you do so, just sidle up to Safenia. As soon as we get through, I'm going to need the room.
And he puts you on the line with administration communications.
Thank you, lovely. I need the room.
I just look at everybody, clear the room.
If you just say that, almost everyone has headphones on.
I walk over to one, lift off a headphone, go, clear the room. Everyone leave now.
He starts tapping on all officers that are there, arbeidsofficers that are there. Pulls them out of the room. Let's have some coffee. The servitors are still there. They can't unplug.
The servitors are fine. And Kipkin just discards Antonius persona. And in High Gothic, greetings and salutations. I am Kifkin Severus Dominus, Adept First Class, clearance codes for the Inquisition, giving him everything, and going, I need all local records identifying personnel within the local union, higher-ups, as well as the court and courtiers of Governor Malik. Business transactions from within the past solar year.
You did give him authorization, right?
Yeah, I gave him the Inquisitorial one.
You get a response on the other side. Well, all the authorization checks out. Do you want it to transfer to your local data panel, or is there another destination? It will take a while.
Local panel's fine. Just make sure that the line has triple security, as the data may be seek to be corrupted within the stream.
Roger that. We will give it the highest security we can give it. And
thank you.
The ETA on the information is, I think in 10 minutes we can start transmitting. It will take about 30 minutes to transfer all the logs over.
Thank you. Glory be to the Imperium. God Emperor be with you.
Amen.
This is going to take me some time. I'm going to have to sift through a lot of data. I may have to essentially have this room for the day. But if anything is compromised, we'll know that it's within the Administratum. If not, there may be some compromises here within the Arbites. And Vasily being missing is a very bad sign.
I will let them know that we will require the room for the day.
Thank you. Actually, I think we're at that point. I think it's gotten that bad. I need to be me. So Antonius will disappear. And starts undoing all of the disguise and starts just handing everything into a pile and giving it to Savenia.
Is that an alarm?
As you look up, you see on the map one of the blinking dots has gone from green to red, and there's one of the communication stations with which is abandoned has a red light blinking.
Slide on over in the rolling chair, put on the headset. Arbeits comm station 712. What is your status? How we may serve you?
This is Arbeits Sergeant Tech Z6 reporting from the spaceport. Request a bomb disposal squad.
Z6, you're looking for demolitions disposal. Can you give me details on the suspected package, the suspected munition?
Details from our search squad are in the communication.
All right, let me pull that up.
It's only locked with 547.
Okay. We'll
roll
see
me
about
technology.
deception. And since this is recalling, this will get a +5.
Madam Inquisitor, we're getting a request for a bomb disposal unit at your location.
There is a unit here. They saw it arrive. Maybe they were just sweeping. And you get the impression she's distracted. And what Matilda's actually trying to do in this moment is she's trying to like get into a good zone because she's about to page Vasily's brain.
Okay. There's some restrooms around here, like a mess room and cantina.
I think she wants to stay in this alcove.
Okay.
But she's just gonna look as if she's like gone down to nap or kind of something like that, just kind of head down, just waiting out her time. Because as long as her face is covered, she should be alright. As long as she doesn't take too long.
Oh, Donnie, if you look up, he's busy talking into. He talked into comms earlier, and.
Alright, so yeah, she kind of drops down her head. And just this wave of anger washes up from the pit of her stomach as she summons Vasily to mind. The visions of the violent things she longs to do to him. And
Wow.
she pushes it into a neutral space as she searches for him in the immediate kind of area, or in the larger immediate area.
Yeah, you can find his mind.
Alright, I'm gonna make my roll.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20. Oh, I rolled just off. That sucks. Alright, reroll. 15, so that's a 25. Take it. That's so annoying. It was like just off the rolling screen on a natural 20.
If it doesn't come up, it doesn't count. So, speak your message.
Vasily, where are you and what is going on? Speak quick. You just hear this in the back of your brain, like Matilda's just plugged
like
straight
literally,
in there.
just like she was right behind me, like sort of like. Okay, I calmly freeze and just sort of try to cast my gaze behind me to see if she's anywhere like nearby.
No.
Obviously, no. Of course not. Oh right, psycho. I start thinking all of this.
Quickly. Vasily.
Simply following your orders, Madam Inquisitor. You requested a wolf among sheep, I believe?
Yes, and what did you find with the sheep? Come on, Vasily.
An interesting development, possibly associated with the bombings. A safe house of some sort. I'm headed there now.
With whom?
His name is Max. At least that's the name that he was given, along with a quite surly gentleman in the front and a runt driving.
You escaped with a crew?
Shanghaied, as it were. Force, press gang.
It was not your idea.
No, but stroke of luck. Emperor protects all and all that.
The Union building was blown up. The Union leader is dead.
I look at the smoke that's coming off the top. I honestly surmised as much, to be quite frank with you.
There is a bomb at the port.
Marvelous that I'm not there then.
A shame. Now tell me the location of the safe house quickly.
I turn over to Max. Where exactly are we headed?
The safe house.
Very descriptive of you. I speak in terms of location.
I do not know this. That's why it's a safe house. Only the driver knows.
Driver, would you be a dear? And I look to whoever's driving, just very, like,
He flat out ignores you.
inquisitive.
Alright, Vasily, look around and think a description of where you are right now.
All right, I go ahead and describe my movements. Actually, I want to use that little wild... Can I use that little wild magic power that I have to discern true north?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, you
Okay.
are heading.
I'm going to.
Courage.
No kidding. I'm going to just still my mind for a minute, focus on the cardinal directions, and see where we're headed.
You're heading 320 degrees. So you're like 10 degrees off north to the right, which relative to the the prison would be Shantytown.
Shantytown. Shantytown is where the safe house is. I'm not entirely sure exactly where, but leave me. I'll be sure to make a ruckus.
No, stay hidden. Find out more. I'll be back. And the voice just disappears from your brain.
Before you go, there's just sort of a
Okay,
very soft,
everyone.
you get a half thought of that would be marvelous, and then just cut off.
And Matilda looks around the room. Make sure no one's paid attention to the fact she just took a nap for about 2 minutes.
Yeah. No one noticed. Well, as you wake up, Donnie does like eye you in the corner sometimes, but he's been doing that like every now and then.
That's
peek.
okay. Yep, that's okay.
So, at comms panel.
Got 21 in that technology check.
21. Okay. The first thing you notice is like a button that says call accepted, and as you push that, the alarm goes off. Stops going off.
Okay.
And you do get a head around the corner of the door, asking, "Everything all right?"
In an entirely different voice. Z6 is calling for demo disposal at the spaceports. Transmitting data of the request to main comms panel. Desk sergeant should receive now.
Okay, so. All right, well, how much more do you need?
All day.
I'd have to ask permission higher up for that.
You can give them this code. Code 2374-I-Z-I-2220 is in effect. This room is now under the control of the Administratum.
He checks the code into the closest cogitator. What does the code do?
It is an Administratum override code, pretty much going, "Hi, we have jurisdiction here. If you seek to question our jurisdiction, please send these files in triplicate." If they actually do that, it then sends them to a giant symbol of the inquisitorial eye, which pretty much states, "Stop."
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, okay, well, of course, we'll have to report this, but we'll find something else to do. Yeah, I'll put the guys to work on the backup comms room.
Good call.
Sophia, you hear over your comms Matilda's voice. Matilda, it was a prison break. Not Matilda, Sophia. I'm Matilda, you're Sophia.
You talk to
Ramifications of
Don't
your
get it
powers.
Okay. She's gonna come back and say, they still haven't determined that here.
Vasily told me. He and others, 3 or 4.
We have
was not
control of
his
the. We have control of the comm room. Would you like me to suppress that information?
who were you planning on telling?
Well, I imagine that the Arbiters will eventually realize that it was a prison break and that they've lost more than just Vasily.
Don't interfere with their process. It will only draw attention to us. We, however, have information they don't. And she gives Safenia a description of Vasily's current location as of about 10 seconds ago.
I believe that they will realize shortly. And I look at Kipkin as in, like, how shortly are they going to realize?
Just quickly on one of the comms terminals, computer terminals, just go, okay, how far along are they in their head count?
No, I mean, how long are they going to realize that? How long are they going to realize that we're not who we are?
Oh, if they actually have somebody that will go through the process of running code, they'll figure out who we are in about an hour. If they don't, it'll be the next day.
They may know of our presence within the hour, according to Kivkin, if they choose to keep digging.
It is irrelevant. Safenia, Kivkin. We have to move.
Right now, if you want me to do that paperwork, Inquisitor, I'm going to have to be stuck in the Arbites den. Safenia can actually get on the move and try and intercept the facility, but doing so should require...
The paperwork is irrelevant now. We have no information.
Alright. I will see about making sure that...
Need up to our ship, or whatever it is that you do.
I'll see about patching it up, but that's going to be a bit difficult considering all the chaos. In the meantime, I can slip free of these Arbites. They have proven themselves to be just the proper level of incompetent. Safenia, you should probably move off and go after the city. Oh, so many different personas. This is new.
I'm going to request a vehicle, Rogue Trader.
What is that sound?
Alarm.
Another alarm. I'm opening the door. I'm grabbing a sergeant, and I'm like, get someone in here right now.
Kivkin, what is the alarm for? Quick.
Alright. Sliding chair to a new comm station.
Hey, my Matilda has a banging headache from being a psycho today.
Patching the call through.
Calling dispatch for backup units at Governor's Gate 1.
Governor's Gate 1, we will dispatch support units. Do you need a suppressive unit or standard units?
We need a large suppressive unit.
Alright. We'll send over a Growler with SWAT quick response as quickly as possible.
Make me a deception.
Madam Inquisitor,
by the way.
there are multiple distractions now going on in this city. I'm going to take Kipkin and we will go after Vasily ASAP.
23!
You nail the Arbeits lingo.
Arm yourself, prepare yourself. I'm going to see if I can figure out how the fuck we're gonna get off this planet. And she is gonna stand up and face.
Kivkin, do you actually dispatch? No.
I'm going to dispatch double the forces requested. But I'm also going to put in that they are to use non-lethal force only.
Okay.
Depleting the local forces so I can sneak past them easier and making sure that they're already on non-lethal means. So if I do run into them, they're already, set to not kill me.
I'm going after Vasily. Can you wrap up here?
Do things as quick as I can. I'll have to see about patching through to the comms terminal on local gun
Yes
cutter.
or no?
Give me 10 and I can come with you. Otherwise, split and I'll catch up.
Oh,
Very well,
Oh.
I'm heading to Shantytown, and I take off.
I will allow you to spend a hero point and roll me a technology DC 15 to rig the communication so that it patches it through to the cutter without intercepts and patches it through when it comes in.
We'll do so.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, no, 23. Jeez.
That's true. Yeah, that will do it. So you know you can do it.
Yep.
It will only
just-
take you seconds.
Ugh. God, I hate their comms terminals. All right. No, I can come forthwith. Let me just grab all these swords and guns, and I'm gonna need my Inferno pistol.
So you follow Savenya.
I commandeer a vehicle, put Kifkin in the driver's seat, and send him to Shantytown.
All right. It will take you a bit.
Watch it.
Mathilde, Jason. You arrive at in Shantytown in back alley, and there's a small compound where you're driven in, put in a garage, and the door unlocks. Max steps out.
I look out the car door. Oh, is this where we're to disembark?
Yeah, there's no rain inside here, so I guess this will do.
Marvelous. And I go out of the car with chainsword just lightly hovering over the ignition button, just in case.
All right. Max leads you into another room, and there's like an operating table there. And he just sits down on it, and there's a servitor coming up to him and starts unwrapping the bandage on his head.
It's very interesting that you would ask someone who stabbed your eye out to suddenly be an ally.
Well, none of the gang members would even approach me. You followed so far. You want to get off this planet, right?
I've been off this planet.
So why are you here? As the robot starts cutting away the bad skin. There's a bionic eye waiting in a petri dish. Well, petri dish in a bowl, metal bowl.
Allow me and indulge me in a bit of a thought experiment, friend. Do you know where this coat is from? And I sort of hold it aloft. It's like almost like a faded baby blue with like red and gold kind of trimming. It's all kind of faded and whatnot, so it's not...
What was the coat?
It was once belonging to an officer of the Mordian Iron Regiment.
Military officer. I don't know the regiment.
Mordian Iron Guard.
I've
The
heard about it.
237th. Yes. Now, you certainly might be wondering how I got a coat from a Mordian Iron Guard officer.
Oh, you either were the Mordian Iron Guard officer, or you killed him. Killing him wouldn't have sent you here.
Oh no, it didn't. But I've been through many roads and down many darker paths. Do you really want to know which path led me here?
I don't really want to know your path, but I do want to know where you want to go. Of course, you'll have to repay for getting out of here.
Repay?
You think we go through all this trouble for free?
No, but I suspect that the payment that you ask for lies outside of the realm of Throne-Geld.
Yes.
So speak plainly.
All in due time. First, we wait out this. I was told it was going to be a riot. Oh, that's what I would do. We wait out the riot. We recover from our wounds, and then we get on with business.
What business
But
is that?
I will put you in contact with my associates and leave you there. You can work out the details of your deal with them.
I narrow my eyes at him. Well, we could waste our time with that, certainly, or you could tell me now.
I do not know what I want with you. I do know that you'll be speaking with... I gotta have the correct one in front of me. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Where's this list?
New name for my book. Here we go.
I will put you into contact with Cornelius. Very friendly guy.
Cornelius.
And you can work out a deal with him. All I do is get folks like you, put them in contact with him.
Ah. Useful.
Simple.
So where do you go now?
I disappear for a while. Maybe find myself back in prison, one place or another. Find folks like you.
Folk like me. My friend, and I put a very heavy hand on his shoulder and be sure to dig in my fingers. There is no one like me. You do well to remember that. Else I'll have to take out the other eye.
That's why I picked you.
You said I could contact my friend?
The biomedical eye gets put into his skull.
You said there was a means by which I could contact my friend.
Yes, if you have... there's a comms in the other room. You can use it. You know that if you run, Cornelius will find you.
Would he find me quicker than how long it will take for us to actually meet?
I doubt it. You
Well,
will
good.
meet when
Then
you will meet when the riots are done.
Oh, no. Tell him I'd like to meet with him as soon as possible.
Which is when the riots are done.
What, is he coordinating a riot?
You have to ask him. I doubt it.
You doubt it.
Those-
And yet,
yeah.
he cannot meet
Those-
until
those-
the riot's finished?
Those riots were a happy coincidence. Makes my work a lot easier. Well, gotta get a better driver, but other than that.
Depart. Take care of yourself. And that And he just sort of vaguely motions at the new eye implant.
It makes a 360 in his skull. Hey, well, I like my actual eye.
I'm sure you do.
But I did like my left hand as well, and you hear whizzing as he moves his left hand. Goodbye. Yeah, he turns around and walks out the door.
There a comlink anywhere nearby?
As he said, there's a simple communications cogitator in the other room. There's a table, a refrigerator. It's like a living room. There's no windows. There's no locks on doors.
I'm going to scan around the perimeter to see if it's bugged or otherwise under some sort of surveillance.
Okay. Do you have any special tools you use for that, or just your?
Nope. I think this will just be investigation.
Okay. You can roll with that.
This will be at a +6. Yep. This will be.
He still has luck points, so.
Yeah, this will be with. Actually, wait. I need to read on that luck control bit because I believe
you go read on that, and in the meantime, we can go back to Matilda.
Go ahead.
Matilda. Donnie comes up to you. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Tell me, are you watching me or just looking?
Just looking. So, you have to know that there is explosives on the spaceport. And
where?
We should probably leave the perimeter while they clean it up.
All right. Perhaps we should go up to the ship.
I'd have to ask permission for that. As you can see, we found these explosives, which means we need to check more locations, which means I'll be busy. And I doubt they'll send me off planet.
Donnie, I think we should have a conversation. And I think it would be better if we had on the ship.
I can clear the room.
I can clear the room.
He motions for everyone to leave. He leans over the desk, the table. They're put there. Right next to the silos.
Alright, is the bomb like clearly labeled like bomb?
No, he just points at it's a miniature of the spaceport, and he just points. They're put there. Bomb squad's on his way, but it's better to clear the spaceport while they're at work. So, whatever you have to say, speak.
She reaches into her jacket and pulls out her inquisitorial seal and just lays it on top of the table.
He looks at it. I don't think he would know it from a lore point of view, as no one but actual high up people would know it. I've never seen this. See a badge of office? Can I scan it?
If you like.
From a lore point of view, the Inquisitorial seal is actually a key that opens pretty much any Imperial lock. And it also gives credentials for any Imperial system. So as soon as he scans it with his badge ID checker, it gives him a display. So what Who are you then? I mean, I will come up to the ship with you, but what are you doing here? I don't know what this means.
I'm seeking answers for the Emperor.
Well, I will give you any answer I know.
Yes. Tell me about your boss. Tell me
David.
about...
What do you want to know?
Everything.
Everything. I think that's a good place to wrap up the session, actually. Perfect place. All right, let's do that. Perfect timing.
I'm just wondering who's going to end up killing Donnie. Which one of us it's going to be? It's going to be one of us.
We'll see about that.
Well, you're closest to him now, so, I mean, if his eyeballs start leaking out of his head. And...
Look, that happened one time.
Oh, one time in their sights, right?
One time that we know of.
That was a lovely session.
Secrets.
Do you feel like you've come closer?
Well, we're certainly in the middle of the web. I don't know where the spider is, but...
Yeah.
Well, now we can
burn the
just
web.
set fire to the web. Yeah, we'll just set fire to the web.
Yeah. All right, as we wrap up, let's go around our cast and crew. See how you like today. Looking forward to next week, and where can we find you online? Cleric of Court, you're up first.
Oh, well, hello. I am Kat. I am also known as @Cleric of Court on the Twitters. You can find me here Mondays. Stefania Grigorier, Sister of Battle, and back here again on Thursdays at the same time, playing Due Diligence, who is a Warforged War Mage in Once Upon a Time, as we try to see how fast we can break our DM, along with those of you from the community who like to play with us. It's always a blast. Otherwise, if you look at my pinned tweet on my Twitter, you can find out where I am the rest of the week at various different streams. This was a blast. Stefania almost felt sorry for the poor worker. Almost.
Almost. So I need to push it more next week then.
He participated in a riot and attacked a vehicle. He's not an innocent.
Technically, so did we.
Well, yeah, but we have authority. But anyway, no, I'm loving this. I think we're getting. I just starting to feel like we're getting a little closer.
And you got to actually fight.
Yeah,
you got to fight. So Kifkin, Pope World Build.
I am Pope World Build on the Twitter, World Build on Twitch. You can find me all over the place. Kifkin's had a day. I did set out to make collateral damage, man, but that apparently is Kifkin's superhero title. The kill count is currently 20, ladies and gents. Chaos Chorus. The kill count is 20. And he's barreling down with Safenia in the passenger seat, trying to find Vasily in the middle of a shanty town. He's already had to discharge his weapon twice in the day. He's had to use inquisitorial channels to get stuff done, and he's got tons of paperwork waiting for him, but there's probably more combat to be had, and he is so not happy.
Well, depends on how you approach it.
His approach is talk, fail at talking, pull gun.
Well, that works. No. Lovely. That was great. That was great. So, did you tell us where we can find you online?
Yes, you can find me over at Pope World Build on the Twitter, and on Twitch, just World Build. You can find me not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday on Tales from the Grim, as we look into Honoria's past. And yes, Kelvin's there.
Nice. Jason.
Yes, hello. Yeah, no longer a prisoner, now just a would-be heretic, I guess.
Who knows?
Well, wolf in sheep's clothing, wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just find me at Just Jason Please on Twitter, and find me here on Mondays, find me here on alternate, or not here, but find me on friend of the channel, Susanna Grace's Twitch stream, alternating Tuesdays. Skip this week, going to come back next. And then also, hopefully this Thursday, barring catastrophe, find me on Pro Restarter with the Blue Rose campaign, which is basically the epitome of opposite, I don't know, of this campaign. Like it's the antithesis, that's the word. But in terms of this, it's just a marvelous ride. Happy to be along, happy to be finally getting in touch with some actual heretics to hopefully do glory upon the Emperor's name.
Well, you don't know if they're heretics until Sophia touched them.
Nope. They're heretics. At this point, it's just it's a bygone conclusion in Vasily's mind.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it there. Charlie,
Yes.
finally getting to unlock all the powers.
I love playing Matilda, and I love that most of her tactic is I'll let everyone else do what they want to do, and I'm going to get on with what I need to actually do to get stuff done, and we'll figure it out later. But I've been waiting for her to reveal to Donnie who she is, because it's either going to go like he's a linchpin kingpin in this, or he's going to be a really useful lieutenant to the linchpin kingpin in this. But either way, I definitely think, and Matilda thinks, we need allies, because we're pretty screwed right now. We are 4 people running around on a planet with a ship that we can't fly, and not a great deal of options at the moment. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun, and thank you so much, Bastian, for helping me level up and do my sheet. Most appreciated. I love being a psyker. It's the most fun, and it's fun playing basically a witch hunter, but in a completely different setting, and seeing the different ways you can hunt for witches. But I promise, Matilda won't go soft on the heretics when we find them. For anyone who's concerned, she has a weak line on heresy. She does not.
Yeah, it's not like you want to find them to add them to your own army, right? Yet.
I'm not a heretic.
No, you're not. You're not.
I am building an army, but I'm not a heretic.
No.
So yeah,
Where can we find you online?
Yes, I am at Frost and Fire on the Twitters. You can check out my pin tweet for all of my games. I'm currently in like 7 or 8 games a week. But I am back here on Wednesdays for some more Warhammer fun, this time fantasy. I think it's our penultimate episode of the Spite of the Witch King, in which we play Dark Elves. We barely escaped an arena with our lives after we went in there on a whim and fought a Hydra. It was a great week. I'm very excited to see what character Jim's going to bring in, as he keeps swapping his character every week, and every week they have a better week than we do. So, curse on you, Jim Davis. Yes, thank you so much for being here and the support of the Chaos Chorus. What about you, Bastian?
I had fun. Yeah, it's coming together now, or falling apart, depending on which side of the aisle you're on. Getting some leads out there that you already found, but you gotta find them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to next week, seeing what unravels, because the fun part about the way this works for me is everything has its own pace, its own path, and what you do affects it. But if you don't do anything, it's still gonna happen. So Looking forward to
I
next
love
week.
this crazy web that you set up, and there are all these different plots going on the planet, and not all of them are heretic related, but they're all going on and they're all contributing, and we're just like meandering through them.
Looking really forward to the big unveil at the end, and I think we will have a post season chat. I think, but
Matilda needs a date with Donnie. Don't let him die yet.
well, that's up to how you treat him. Just don't introduce him to Safenia, I guess. That's the key here. So you can find me online on Twitter on @vuurmannetje, or if you type !tech in that, like I will do now, you can find me on my website. I put together stuff and make it work, and that's my work. And on Mondays I stream here. That's pretty much it. I was thinking of doing a Divinity Original Sin stream though, like just playing. I'm not
Divinity.
I'm
Do you
not
need someone on your team?
Oh, well, if you have time, we can play it together. That's fine. I was thinking of doing like some light pre actual play stuff, and I think I have a green light from Will, so we'll definitely put it up there if you've got time. So have been enjoying that. And next week, of course. So we will hand you over to our next show, which is that, Charlie.
Yes, it is. It is Learn to Play Ravnica Unleashed. Unleash the Ravnicas.
Yeah, they will. Of course, there will be a moment to get a drink, buy some dice from our sponsors, or go to waylandgames.co.uk or any of the other ! sponsors. But for now, we will see you in the grim dark of the future next week. Goodbye.